Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Wheel of Freedom. My name is Phil Marie, and where's Wally? Where's Waldo? Let's play that tonight. He's hiding somewhere. Wally's running late. He has a repairman, I believe, at his house, so he's running late. So that's all right. He will be walking in eventually during the show, probably right in front of the camera and take a seat, and that's Wally for you. But last week was fun. We enjoyed it, doing the 50s, and we're probably going to mess around, do something with the 60s and then the 70s. A couple months down the road. As you know, I've been targeted, all right? This started 2007. I'm in a fight for my life with these jerks. They keep zinging me in the privates and different areas, and I've received letters from people. Actually, maybe tonight I'll get into, I think I have that letter here from a gentleman who was, he's a viewer. He hand wrote a letter, and just to acknowledge the man, he's an older gentleman from from Europe, and he had some interesting stuff here. So maybe as we go on with the show, I will read some of this or mention some of it. But right before I left to come here, I got an email from a guy up in Alaska who watches our shows on YouTube, and it says, "Hello from Alaska. Just wanted to let you know I saw your show for the first time and wanted to thank you guys for speaking truth to power. Brave indeed these days." And then he went on about his situation of being targeted. His name is Mark, and he was from Alaska. Then there's another one, a woman that's in the northern part of New Hampshire. I don't really want to say too much yet, but her life has been completely destroyed. Completely destroyed. She was a school teacher, did all kinds of things, was into public events, this and that. I really don't want to read this email yet until I get back in touch with her, but very sad, and she ended it that she's at the end of her rope. I'm at the end of my rope. And she thanked me again because she stumbled on this show. And when I tell you there's a lot of people whose lives are being destroyed by these creeps, and they don't know why, they don't know what it's all about. I went 2 years without even knowing about this stuff. All I know is I was being zapped, being stalked. My house was bugged. My truck was bugged. People were mocking me. I went from, 240 pounds, whatever I am now, to, which I've always been. Even at childbirth, I came out at 240 pounds, and I've been this way through. But with all the stress and the torture, I went all the way down to 188. Right before I moved away from New Hampshire in 2009, 188. You talk about skin and bones. I was scared. I never gave up my faith, but you know what? I was scared. The police were wrong. The sheriff was wrong. The attorney general. And this is something I want to get into with the attorney general. That was Kelly Ayotte, Senator Kelly Ayotte for New Hampshire. She's a complete jackass. I'd like to call her, reverse those words and put a hole at the end of it. But that's what this woman is, nasty. And I just, to think that they contributed when I left New Hampshire. And they knew that I had just left. The Attorney General's office went to my house and was asked about me having mental issues. Or was I institutionalized or getting help? That contributed to basically a complete breakdown. And at this point, I guess it's nothing to do with me at all, which is, so be it. It doesn't matter. My ex-fiance, same thing. I try to reach out a little bit. She knows what happened. I'm getting ready to really let it all out and not hold back with the concern that I'm going to hurt someone's feelings. They don't care. They hurt my feelings. They contributed. They knew what was going on. Nobody would help me. I know the gag order has a lot to do with it. When the FBI issues a gag order, which you know, the national security letters we talked about with Bill Binney, people are afraid. But at the same time, when they're mimicking what I'm doing and then text me about something related to what I'm doing, which was happening, and that also was happening from a ex-high school friend down here, and a few friends, and I'm really pissed at these guys still, and I don't really care, because the most insulting thing ever was being intimate, falling out of bed or whatever, and having a so-called best friend from high school immediately call you and want to know, did you fall? Did you fall? Did you fall? Huh? Did you fall? This same guy's going around town smearing my name at the pizza house over here in Waterford, this, that. You know what? That's coming out soon too. I'm going to start naming names, and one of these guys, like he was a drug dealer, for that matter. One of these guys, so into pornography. One of these guys, so they have a lot more at risk than I certainly do, and they took joy of watching me get completely destroyed. And when I tell you destroyed, 2009, 2010, completely destroyed, lost everything, and I'll never get back what I lost. I'll probably never own a house again. But you know what? These guys took joy because they have a house. One of them has a nice house because he sold drugs for 20 years. So if these people want to talk crap about me around town, I'm going to talk crap about these guys. And I know a lot of our friends watch this show, and they can give the fat whatever, they can give him heads up. And same with Mr. Watching Me Have Sex there. I'm at a point, honestly, in the next probably month or two, I'm just going to let it all out, let it all rip, and including family members. There was mention of one family member telling me how his business friend lost $1 million on this, blah, blah, blah. He should have made $2 million. What do I care? I have nothing to do with it. I don't know why there was a lot of money involved with all this stuff, with my house being bugged, all that. I don't know why. I just want to say it, but I don't know why this other person thought that they might be running into some big money, and they also thought they needed something to remember me by. In other words, I believe, I hate to say it, I think these scumbags were hoping that I died, and I think they had some sort of life insurance policy. That's my best guess at this time, and I'm going to stick to it. But this is so nasty that you can't even believe what all the details. And I've only scratched the surface because it's so overwhelming that you get into all the details, and even with the truck I have, it's still bugged. The sheriff laid eyes on it, physically touched one of the parts that was swapped out. I have to hold these people accountable in New Hampshire. I'm out, I'm looking for justice. I'm not looking to hurt other people. I want justice. And I don't see why or how the FBI or a gag order or the government can say this guy cannot have justice. This guy cannot have his house investigated, who cleaned it out a week later after he left, when it didn't foreclose for 2 months later. The FBI doesn't have a right to tell me my truck, I can't get justice with my truck. The FBI doesn't have this right to do all this and to prevent me from getting justice when my window was shot out down in Old Lyme, my tires slashed in Oakdale, my well was poisoned, my cat killed. I mean, it goes on and on. Throwing objects metal objects at my truck going down the highway, smash the windshield. A day or two later, it happens again. And I don't have a right. I don't have a right for justice, apparently. I don't know what's up with this stuff, but I can tell you that my NSA friends are bringing this problem to the forefront, and we will eventually break this story, and it will be seen nationwide, and all you viewers will realize that, and I'm not patting myself on the back but I am playing a huge role in bringing this forward, and I know that I'm saving lives. What is it worth to save one life? One person, like this woman here, one person that's went from a successful person, she's in her 30s, now she's basically homeless, and can't understand why all this bad stuff happened to her. Why? Wants to know about the love and tell. They must be sexually doing stuff to her with these weapons. And some of you people may laugh, but it's a known fact. This technology can touch any part of your body, and I don't believe that it's somebody behind the wall zapping me, like this letter claims, because Wally isn't getting hit. No, I believe it's satellite technology that pinpoints. And I have an article here that if you remember Sam, she was on our show. She was a whistleblower, and an attractive woman, nice woman. She told this story. She was in the Navy. She worked for Lockheed Martin and was a whistleblower. And Lockheed Martin and GE and all these companies, they all have their hands in this evil program. And Reg, camera 3, I believe. Thank you. Right here, this article is called "Congress is Controlled and Bribed by the NSA Through Widespread Surveillance of Our Elected Representatives." I don't believe we should put up with being controlled by Big Brother. Okay, thanks, Reg. And in this article, it talks about the Echelon program, the NSA, and again, Bill Binney, Kirk Wiebe are coming on in 2 weeks. And this goes into Lockheed Martin, and there was a whistleblower, Margaret Newsham. And I just stumbled on this thing. Margaret Newsham, she worked for Lockheed Martin. Reg, camera 3 again. Right there on the bottom right here, if you can see that, Lockheed Martin. She was a whistleblower and a former Lockheed Martin employee. All right? Thanks, Reg. Now, as this article goes on, it talks about in the 70s how the NSA was actively targeting and monitoring elected members of Congress. So, and you wonder why they're all idiots and they won't do anything proper, and it's all about payout, power, and blackmail. And so I have 2 more things on this article. Reg, camera 3 again. Right here on the top it says, Echelon was an automated computer-driven system for sifting and sorting all types of international civilian communications intercepted from satellites, mainly operated by U.S. companies. And but at the end of this article, it also talks about from 1974 to 1984, both the satellites and computer programs were developed at Lockheed's headquarters in Sunnyvale, California. And I want to just show you this so you see it. Right there at the top, it talks about right here, Lockheed's headquarters in Sunnyvale, where? California. Thanks, Reg. And in 1977, she was stationed at the largest listening post in the world at Menwith Hill, England. So obviously England is still playing a role in this surveillance, in this targeting, and that's where Lockheed Martin is from, originally, I believe. And so the point that I've always talked about is our minds. And Lee Elsey, 94.9, he has a great morning show. I listen quite often, and he's doing the King of Callers. And he asked me, and I first wasn't going to bother, but I only have a couple days to do this. I'm going to send in an audio that should rock the boat pretty hard, a 4-minute rant, and just to keep it within reason. But you know what? With all this technology and everything, and Lee is a believer in as far as knowing that there's a lot of strange stuff going on, and so if you guys in the mornings, he has a variety of stuff, but he's a great show to listen to. And but the mind, everything that I have here is minds. The use of the media in conditioning the masses about the minds. Here's another one. Trendy mind control. Get your smartphone. Here's another one. Television is mass mind control, and the internet and cell phones are using this technology too. And what they're doing is they're at the point of being sold the ability to zap your own brains into compliance using the cell phones. Now, Zuckerberg at Facebook, he's into this synthetic telepathy. That's coming soon with Facebook. So I have no idea what to expect from these guys. But you got Google glasses. They can inject sound into your head with these waves, with the brain waves. And it just, it may appear that I'm banging the drum, and to some people they say, well, it doesn't affect me. Well, guess what? Someday it just might, and I can guarantee you it's going to affect the next generations down. That's why I'm willing to put my life on the line. I don't care. I'm fighting this thing until it's exposed and stopped, because I'm concerned about my children, my grandchildren, your grandchildren, the next generations. This stuff is going on. What do you think happened to those teenage girls in New Jersey? There was, 10 or 12 of them or something that had all this weird stuff that was happening. They had these moves, uncontrollable moves. Of course they were being experimented on with this technology, and it breaks my heart. And their lives might be all destroyed because of this. And there's when I tell you, there's probably hundreds of thousands of people in our country that are being their asses are being whooped by this technology. And I get emails like this all the time, and it's so sad. If I could read this email right now, I'm telling you guys, you would be fighting back the tears, because I had a few tears as I'm reading it, thinking, this is so wrong. What did this woman do? What did she do? What did a lot of these women do? Other than, were they attractive, maybe? Maybe the NSA guys, maybe the guys at GE, maybe Lockheed Martin, maybe the Navy, maybe the Air Force, maybe these guys are perverts. Now, up in New Hampshire, there was an 11-year-old involved that was being watched. Her teachers told her she was being watched. I am not letting that go. As far as I'm concerned, the people that were calling me on my cell phone are pedophiles. Understand? Understand? The people involved were pedophiles because there was an 11-year-old girl going through the same stuff, being watched, grown men watching her. I will fight to my death until I get justice, is all I can tell you. I will fight to my death until I get justice. And some of these creeps, even here around town, that thought they were cool hanging out with Howie Mandel, and watching, and you know what? How cool are you now, man? How cool are you now? And I don't have the faith yet in the FBI because I know that they have issued gag orders. I know they do the national security letters, so where do you go? How do you get justice? I have to go back to the state of New Hampshire. I have to confront them with all this information, with the evidence from the truck, evidence from the house, pressure them to investigate what they can find out. And so the question is, if the FBI still has a gag order, will that prevent me from getting justice up in New Hampshire about my house and my truck being bugged? That's the problem. Lawyers won't even take this stuff on. Lawyers won't even touch any of this stuff. I'm sure there's some lawyers somewhere in this world that would, but they're very difficult to find, and you probably have to have a boatload of money, which once you put in this program, they put a chokehold on you. So you're constantly just getting by, and I thank God that at least I make enough and I get by enough to have somewhere to live, to have food to eat, to have a vehicle or two, and to get around. Nothing fancy at all. If anything, I probably live worse than all these people watching, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going strong, and I want justice. I cannot let this go. I cannot let this go. When I hear of women being raped, and I hear of a tradesman up in Rhode Island who thanked me also, learned about the show, the same deal. He's got children, the same deal. He's scared about his children. This guy's being attacked. And it's going on. There's 3 people, well, myself, but there's 2 people in East Lyme, active people that are on the internet from East Lyme, a guy and a woman, in East Lyme alone. So I know there's more people that are being targeted. There could be 5 out in Ledyard, 5 in Groton that don't get to maybe catch his show, and that aren't aware of what's going on. But it is widespread, and there seems to be. I pay attention to the New Hampshire cases, and this girl that recently contacted me also had doings in the state of New Hampshire. One of my good friends up there, he's close to 80 years old. They're targeting this guy. Why? Why? Because this guy wanted justice with the police chief up there that has 21 alleged counts against him, of which many are rape, bully badge, behind the badge, raping women. This is the same police chief that wouldn't help me at all, that turned his back, wouldn't come by the house, wouldn't do this. I told him they're speeding by, this, that. They did nothing to help me. And the Sheriff John Hebert, Hebert, is now the selectman of the town of Bartlett up there. And I have to go after these guys in the hardest, most vicious manner to get justice. And I'm tired of being messed with and stalked. And, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't scare me. I have plenty of video. I'm waiting for the head-on collision. I've already been rear-ended right after the show. I left the show, a month ago, which didn't make sense why I got rear-ended, but I got rear-ended. So I'm expecting one of these days with a head-on collision. And like I said, I'm willing to die for the cause, whatever it takes. I don't care. Whatever it takes to put this Mandel creep or my cousin or any other relatives or any NBC executives, GE executives, or FBI agents for that matter, put them in jail for a long time, I'm not stopping, because this, to me, is the biggest threat to humanity in this world, to know that they can fry people so easily. They use these weapons. Russia's been using these weapons. I forgot the article. There was an article from 2020, but I remember this story, so I can tell you it off the top of my head here. 1999, the ABC News showed 2020. Donaldson, what was that guy's name there? And Diane Sawyer both were doing the 2020. It was a story about a helicopter guy. He was not a spy, but a surveillance expert, and there was a Russian ship in U.S. waters, and they were in a this is in 1999. I'm going to bring it in next week. I wanted to bring it, and I forgot it, but they were surveilling this boat, and at the time, in 99, I guess, taking pictures from a helicopter. They got zapped by a laser, and a lot of this could be laser technology, very fine. Now, people think the old myth is, the further it goes, it spreads out. So that little dot, if you point on something across the street, it's a huge dot. That's different type of technology, but this laser technology that they zap these guys in 1999. And I said on this show maybe a year or two ago, one of the worst attacks I ever had driving. They hit me in the eye, in my left eye, which is still scarred from at night. They were zapping me. They finally stopped because I started talking about it on the show. But it felt as if somebody jabbed a pencil in my eye, and I swear God is my witness, in that article I just got last week sent to me from another targeted woman from, I don't know what state she was from, but anyways, it mentioned about the guy, the helicopter pilot. It felt like somebody jabbed a pencil in his eye. And then they had all these pains coming and going, pulsating, sharp pains, and then they'd go away, sharp pains, they'd go away. This went on for a while, and this was on 2020, and they called it the future fearsome weapons or something, or the fearsome future weapons, or something like that. I'll have to bring it in next week. And that's 99. So you say 99, now it's 2015. What do you got? You got more advanced technology. And 7:31, Wally's not even here yet. I'm really mad at him. I might just tell him. He's going to come barging through the door. Maybe he won't make it, but but the bottom line is, I do want to get into this whole thing deeper, because I'm just fed up with 8 years of my life being destroyed with a chokehold on it, and constantly being badgered and shocked and zapped and zinged, and it's electronic harassment also. The appliances in the house, this, that, computers, this, shutting off my phones, shutting off the TV. I'm trying to watch Joel Osteen or Dr. Charles Stanley or something, a preacher, and they keep shutting off the TV. So I turn it back on. I look at the remote, looking right at it, TV goes off again. Only during that. They scramble the signal as I'm watching it, as I'm watching Joel Osteen or Dr. Stanley or John Hagee or something. John Hagee starts talking about how bad the government is and this and that, and all of a sudden the screen gets all scrambled, and they scramble his head. And so technology, when it went digital, that was the turn for the worse. And I know that there's a lot of good benefits to technology, but when you look at the hidden evil in all this, you know what? I'll pass. Thank you. I limit the technology as much as I can. I just cannot I can't stand the thought that an average person, the people watching now, your smartphones, you got your camera, I got tape over any camera, anything, anywhere, other than these cameras, but you really don't know if there's people watching you through that little peephole or listening. And I'm telling you that the smartest thing ever to do, at least your bedroom, which you intimate times, whatever, people have master baths off their bedroom, whatever it may be, you know, you really shouldn't bring any of that or have any of that in your private parts of the house, I think. I personally, why would you give them an opportunity to watch? I mean, it's a known fact in Pennsylvania, there was a creepy principal that at a high school that handed out laptops, and this guy was watching these high school kids have sex, this and that, because they had their laptop on, and he activated their cameras without them knowing, and he got caught. Thank God he got caught too. But what happened was one of the kids was doing something wrong, and the principal went beyond his, he overstepped his boundaries and questioned the kid, and the only way the principal could have known what was going on in the kid's bedroom was the fact that he was watching them, and then the kid reported it to his parents. That's how the principal got caught. So this stuff's going on everywhere, and what are they doing? They're pushing all children to have these laptops, this, that. They don't want to teach them handwriting. They want everything data mined, everything. Same with that Common Core, everything. And I hate to say it, but the people need to smarten up. And you have, people like Rand Paul is the only one, or Ted Cruz maybe, but Rand Paul will stick his head out there about the surveillance thing. And I'm really disappointed with this debate the other night, and I wanted to talk with Wally about it, but apparently Wally's not getting here. Maybe he's under some sort of mind control. Who knows? But the Rand Paul thing really bothered me because Fox manipulated that. And I'm a fan of Fox News. I like a lot of their people. I like them overall, but I'm really disappointed with the way Kelly treated Trump, and the way the questions were staged. They were easy on some, harder on others. It just didn't seem right, and so that's going to lead me up to, I think, we should run a. I don't like Fatso from New Jersey. I'm sorry, but I never liked the guy. His feistiness there, Christie. I don't know why. But he really made me a little aggravated because he flat out lied in front of 24 million viewers or whatever that they don't surveil you without court orders. That's a flat out lie, because the NSA guys will certainly confirm that that's not true. They surveil a lot of us with no orders, including local police are starting to get some of this technology and using it. I don't know which ones, hopefully not around here, but they are getting this technology, and they're using these stupid stingray things that steal the cell phone signals and data and everything. And so I don't know where it ends, other than the who knows what. But hey, Reg, can we run the Rand Paul video with Christie, please?
We're going to switch topics now and talk a bit about terror and national security. Governor Christie, you have said that Senator Paul's opposition to the NSA's collection of phone records has made the United States weaker and more vulnerable, even going so far as to say that he should be called before Congress to answer for it if we should be hit by another terrorist attack. Do you really believe you can assign blame to Senator Paul just for opposing the bulk collection of people's phone records in the event of a terrorist attack?
Yes, I do. And I'll tell you why. because I'm the only person on this stage who's actually filed applications under the Patriot Act, who have gone before the the Foreign Intelligence Service Court, who has prosecuted and investigated and jailed terrorists in this country after September 11th. I was appointed U.S. Attorney by President Bush on September 10th, 2001, and the world changed enormously the next day. And it happened in my state. This is not theoretical to me. I went to the funerals. We lost friends of ours in the Trade Center that day. My own wife was 2 blocks from the Trade Center that day at her office, having gone through it that morning. When you actually have to be responsible for doing this, you can do it, and we did it for 7 years in my office, respecting civil liberties and protecting the homeland. And I will make no apologies ever for protecting the lives and the safety of the American people. We have to give more tools to our folks to be able to do that, not fewer, and then trust those people and oversee them to do it the right way. As president, that is exactly what I'll do.
Megan, may I respond? May I respond?
Go ahead, sir.
I want to collect more records from terrorists, but less records from innocent Americans. The Fourth Amendment was what we fought the revolution over. John Adams said it was the spark that led to our war for independence. And I'm proud of standing for the Bill of Rights, and I will continue to stand for the Bill of Rights.
And Megan, that's a completely ridiculous answer. I want to collect more records from terrorists, but less records from other people. How are you supposed to know, Megan?
Use the Fourth
What are you supposed
Amendment.
to? How are you supposed
Use
to?
the Fourth
no, I'll tell you
Amendment.
how you
Get a warrant.
Let me tell you something.
Get
you
a
go
judge to sign
when
a warrant.
Senator.
Go ahead, wait, Governor Christie, make your point.
Listen, Senator, when you're sitting in a subcommittee just blowing hot air about this, you can say things like that. When you're responsible for protecting the lives of the American people, then what you need to do is to make sure that you use the system the way it's supposed to work.
Here's the problem, Governor. You fundamentally misunderstand the Bill of Rights. Every time you did a case, you got a warrant from a judge. I'm talking about searches without warrants, indiscriminately of all Americans' records, and that's what I fought to end. I don't trust President Obama with our records. I know you gave him a big hug, and if you want to give him a big hug again, go right ahead.
And I have a message for Christie that 8 years of my life has been hell because of the surveillance and everything. So the guy's basically full of crap, saying that they don't surveil you, they don't do this, they don't do that. It's a big lie. It's a big lie. And these, at least Rand Paul has the courage to stand up for Americans, even with the drones. Look at what's going on with the drones flying around everywhere. Now they're interfering with airplanes. They're going to take down an airplane shortly. A drone's going to fly into an engine. It's going to kill 200 or 300 people. And you know what? We're allowing these drones to fly everywhere. And I've already heard stories of drones watching teenage girls out sunbathing. So the perverts of the world, the porn people who are addicted to porn, like some of my old friends that want to smear my name around town, guess what? They're the type of people that will have drones. And it is getting out of hand. And it needs to stop. It has to stop. And I don't even know how to confront Joe Courtney. He's useless. He is so useless of a congressman. He's afraid of this subject. He's afraid of all this stuff. All these guys. Blumenthal I might have a chance with Blumenthal, but then he would send the Gestapo or something after me and haul me away for some reason or whatever. So, but I should approach these guys. I don't care Democrat, Republican. You know what? It's good and bad. And I don't really care. You know what? Wally, all this time, I sat here doing this show. He does nothing and shows up, Wally. Thank you, Wally. Oh, look at this. He tries to copy me. What a goon. What do you have to put on your mic? You're sitting on it, Walter.
Oh, that felt good.
Yes, welcome to the show, Walter. I've been ranting for I'm going to do the rant with Lee Elsey. I'm doing the king of the callers, and all I got to do is take cuts from this show. I got plenty of rant I just did. So I just showed the Rand Paul video where Christie says they don't surveil without search warrants, all that, which is a flat out lie. And Rand Paul, and I'm getting ready to show the other video where Kelly was pretty harsh on Trump versus the questions to the other guys. They didn't go after all these other guys. And it's not a matter of Republican or Democrat. It's a matter of the media should not be able to control everything that we're doing, Wally. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. And somewhere here, I also have the article on that, another article. And I've been doing the best I could because you kind of let me know last minute that you were going to be late. So I was counting on you, and I didn't do enough show prep, but I survived, and which I knew I would. I was on a roll.
I had all the faith in you.
Wally, I wasn't a bit concerned that I could, handle it. But anyway, so the bottom line of all this is that the media is part of the government military industrial complex, the government media complex, Wally, and so forth. The people that are into the creepy stuff, we don't need. We don't need. We need a president that's first going to honor God first, I think, and then everything else would be better. And until we get that, I think this country is just.
We're in trouble.
This
country's in trouble.
You know what? We need to stand with Rand is all I can say. I don't care. Anybody that will stand up for the Bill of Rights, the best of the Americans and everything, we have to, Wally. We're going off the air.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Good night, everyone. God bless the viewers. God bless America.
And wake up, America.
You can wake up. You can go to sleep. You can do what you want. It's still a free country. Good night.